In at 5, Mammon. In the New Testament of the Bible, Mammon is a fallen angel. His name is thought to mean money, material wealth, or any entity that promises wealth. He's essentially the embodiment of the cardinal sin, greed. Sounds like a swell guy. He is associated with the greedy pursuit of gain. I quote, "You cannot serve both God and Mammon." He is often personified as a deity and is included amongst the 7 princes of hell. According to some readings, he is the son of Lucifer himself, conceived before his father fell from heaven and born after he was sent to hell. Before his fall from grace, I quote, "He was more interested in heaven's golden pavement than its celestial leader. From the underworld he comes up with schemes to manipulate humans into adding to his fortune. He is supposedly so powerful that innocent humans can be corrupted by him, adding to his treasures and fortunes instead of virtues that they can carry up to heaven." In at 4, Abaddon. Abaddon is known as the angel of the bottomless pit, one of the many fallen angels we have on our list. In the New Testament book of Revelation, they are described as the king of an army of locusts, as well as Destroyer, the angel of the abyss. As the king of locusts, he has an army resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a scorpion's stinger. Nasty. Many believe Abaddon to be the Antichrist, but others identify him as the angel as Satan. According to Revelation 9:1-11, after the 5th angel sounds his trumpet, a star falls from heaven and opens the bottomless pit. As a storm of smoke arises, and from the smoke a plague of locusts emerge to torment, but not kill, men who lack the seal of God on their foreheads for 5 months. His origin gets a little hazy, making him appear to be the servant of God, yet also a servant of Satan. Guess it's up to you what you believe. In at 3, Belphegor. Belphegor, along with a few other numbers on our list, is a demon and one of the 7 princes of hell. His powers are of seduction, seducing people with money and inventions, promising endless riches. His role as a demon is to turn humans against each other through means of wealth. He uses our gluttonous desires to drive man to evil, promising fortune in the end. Other reports label him as hell's ambassador to France. Odd title. And his adversary is Saint Mary Magdalene, one of the patron saints of France. His origin is that of a fallen angel and a false god that Moses handed down the death penalty for worshipping. He was dispatched to earth by Satan to deceive mortals, often taking the form of a beautiful woman, typically naked. Although sometimes he can appear as a demon, sporting leathery flesh, horns, sharp teeth, and a gaping mouth, ready to destroy mankind. In at 2, Beelzebub. Identified in the New Testament, Beelzebub is the prince of demons. He holds a high position in hell's hierarchy and supposedly led a successful revolt against the devil. He is the chief lieutenant of Lucifer, the emperor of hell, and is often placed among the 3 most prominent fallen angels, the others being Lucifer and Leviathan. He is capable of flying, which is the worst, and is known as the Lord of the Fires or the Lord of the Flies. Beelzebub is rumored to be responsible for many demonic possessions throughout history. One of the most famous is the possession of Anneliese Michel, a teenager who was diagnosed with epilepsy before a number of exorcisms were later performed, eventually resulting in her death. Beelzebub was also believed to be sowing his influence in Salem, Massachusetts. His name was repeatedly mentioned during the Salem witch trials. And finally, in at number 1, Lucifer. In classical mythology, Lucifer, meaning the bringer of light, was the name of the planet Venus, though in many cases Lucifer was represented as a winged child pouring light from a jar, or even a man bearing a torch. Now in Christianity, as we know, Lucifer became so obsessed with his own beauty and intelligence that he began to desire the honor and power that belonged to God, corrupting him and forcing God to cast him down to the underworld. It is also noted that once he was cast down, he changed his name from Lucifer to Satan, meaning adversary, and following the second coming of Christ, he was bound to the pits of hell during the 1,000-year millennial kingdom over which Christ ruled. All in all, Satan is widely known as the devil himself, an evil entity that seduces humans into sin. He possesses power over the fallen world and a host of various demons. In Judaism, Satan is regarded as an agent subservient to God. There is no answer to whether Lucifer and Satan are 2 separate entities or whether Lucifer's fall from heaven created Satan, but an examination of several passages reveals that he can be none other than Satan, the devil himself.
Coming in at number 5, we have Abaddon. The Old Testament is kind of like the dark side of the Bible. It's filled with stories of death, destruction, and more death. Abaddon, also known as the Destroyer and Angel of Abyss, is one of the characters in the good book that is not so so good. Remember in the book of Revelations when God destroys most of the earth and its inhabitants? Well, Abaddon is a key player in the brutal event that left the world in shreds. According to the story, 7 trumpets sounded to mark each step of the apocalypse. The first 4 attacked the earth, water, and skies, killing a third of the planet's wildlife, vegetation, fresh water, oceans, and light. This indirectly caused the death of many people, but it wasn't until Abaddon was unleashed that God struck humans directly. As the 5th trumpet sounded, a star fell from the sky, opening a bottomless pit in Earth's crust. Smoke funneled out of the dark abyss, and out came a horde of mutant locusts, commanded by Abaddon to inflict intense pain to the people of Earth. Equipped with a scorpion tail, these little monstrosities set out to torture humans for 5 months, but not to kill them. That would have been too humane, I suppose.
Coming in at number 4, we have Legion. Perhaps the most haunting story in the New Testament is that of Legion. He lived among the dead deep within the tombs, appearing not much more alive than a corpse. At night, the townspeople would hear his screams and avoid the man said to be possessed by the unclean spirits, also known as demons. No longer could they control him, he kept breaking loose from the chains that bound him at his wrists and ankles. Night and day he wandered the wild while cutting his own flesh with sharp stones and shrieking in agony. One day while traveling along the lake to the region of the Gerasenes, Jesus gets out of his boat and is abrasively approached by the man of no name. Dropping to his knees before him, the man begs Jesus not to torture him, for the Lord had commanded the evil spirits to emerge. Jesus then asked, "What is your name?" To which the possessed man replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Fearing that they would be cast away into the abyss, the many demons that possessed the man asked to be sent along the pigs in the nearby hillside. Jesus granted the demons permission, and off they went to the thousands of pigs. Now possessed by the evil spirits, the herd plunged to their death and were drowned in the lake below. This man was finally free from the legion of demons.
Coming in at number 3 is Berith or Baalberith. In Christian demonology, this demon is considered the chief secretary of the underworld or Great Duke of Hell. This high-ranking official is often seen as the same as Beelzebub in some theories, but in this context they're not to be confused. His name apparently means God of the Covenant, so if any demons in hell need paperwork signed, Berith is the guy to get the job done. He's often depicted as a demonic soldier riding a red horse and sporting a golden crown upon his head. In other grimoires, his skin is also red. This demon is known for manipulating and tempting men to commit heinous acts, like blasphemy and murder. Berith is also said to be one of the demons who possessed a nun in the famous Louvier's exorcism case.
Coming in at number 2, we have Adrammelech, known as the Fire King. The name Adrammelech only appears in the Old Testament twice, but his stories pack a mean punch, especially with children. The first time he's mentioned, he's regarded as the son of the Assyrian king. He ends up murdering his father in cold blood while in the temple worshipping his idol. The worst part is that this story is relatively tame compared to the next time we see the name Adrammelech. In the Book of Kings, he's mentioned as being a sun god worshipped by the Sepharvites, who were sacrificing in his honor by burning them alive, hence the Fire King nickname. Adrammelech is often depicted with the torso of a man, the head of a mule, and the tail of a peacock. Okay, so that doesn't sound as scary as you're expecting a demon to be, but there's something unsettling about his looks. However, in other lore, he's considered Satan's stylist, so he must be doing something right. Another nickname he holds is Chancellor of Hell, which kinda reminds me of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine from Star Wars. Interestingly enough, both villains indirectly cause children to be killed. Adrammelech with the children sacrificed in his honor, and manipulated Anakin with the younglings, but I digress. In Robert Silverberg's short story Basilisk, he's described as guile and mischief than Satan.
In the number 1 spot is none other than Beelzebub. If you've ever heard the song Bohemian Rhapsody, then you've heard the name Beelzebub. I won't sing it again for you, I sang it in a previous video. I won't do it again. He's considered one of the big wigs in the fiery pits of hell and is sometimes an alternative name for the devil himself in Christianity. Beelzebub is one of the most powerful demons. In the Gospel, according to Mark, the Pharisees disparagingly accused Jesus of exorcising demons by the power of Beelzebub, and even refers to Beelz as Prince of Devils. He's also considered one of the 7 princes of hell by German bishop and theologian Peter Binsfeld. In 1589, Binsfeld paired each of the deadly sins with a demon, ranking them the highest authority in hell. Beelzebub has the honor of representing gluttony. Lord of the Flies is another name for this terrifying demon, given he's the leader of the Order of the Fly. He's often depicted as an actual fly or a grotesque creature with massive wings. It is said that Beelzebub was a prominent figure in the Salem witch trials. You know, the mass witch hysteria towards the end of the 17th century that had more than 200 people accused of witchcraft and led to the slaying of 19 people. Yeah, well, Beelzebub was blamed for corrupting said people and and turning them on a path to Satan. In at 5, Aquil. Now there is very little known about Aquil, but what we know is that he is the demon who presides over Sundays and exists within Christian mythology. His purpose is to destroy and degrade the practice of keeping the Sabbath holy, which might not sound absolutely terrible, but if this dude possesses the wrong person, it could be bad news bears for all of us. Imagine the president, a prime minister, even one senator possessed, and suddenly we have to work 7 days a week without a single day off. Yeah. Okay, it's a stretch, but there's a reason he is at our number 5. Honestly, no one wants to work long weekends. Just saying. Also, apologies in advance if I pronounce all these names wrong. I'm not a demon. Shh. In at 4, Sergat. Now, Sergat is a minor demon referenced in the grimoire of Pope Honorius, but this does not diminish the fact that he is straight up evil. He is listed as, I quote, Sergat who opens all locks, and his opposite is actually our previous number, Aquil. So before we even get into this demon, we should discuss how many demons are actually mentioned in the Great Grimoire of Honorius. Who was he? Historians aren't even sure, but they do think that he was Honorius III, who was the Pope from 1216 to 1227. Now, no one is quite sure if he wrote the book or not, but he is famous among popes for deliberately conducting ceremonies to summon demons so he could banish the demons back down to hell. A little odd. This dude does not mess around. Now, how does Sergat come into play? Well, as previously mentioned, he makes appearances in the Grimoire of Honorius, and he is incredibly deceptive and cunning, making him one of the most terrifying demons throughout history. And in the Bible. Yeah, he's there too. Now, as quoted before, this dude is known as the one who opens all locks, which essentially means he is capable of understanding and opening any and all locks in the entire world, making it almost impossible to escape him or conceal yourself from him. When someone becomes Sergat's target, he relentlessly pursues them no matter how hard they try to escape, and once he reaches his victims, he frightens them by presenting them with images that result in them going mad. Yikes, don't summon this bad boy. In at 3, Agarus. Agarus is a demon described in demonological grimoires as a duke, under the power of the East, an old man riding upon a crocodile and carrying a hawk on his fist. Agarus is known to teach languages, however he also stops and retrieves runaways, causes earthquakes, and grants noble titles. Now, I shouldn't technically be saying he, because Agarus can be a man or a woman. If the demon is a man, the man is old and riding said crocodile. If the demon is a woman, she is young and angelically beautiful. Now, it's surprising how many demons are teachers. They instruct those they visit or possess, and grant knowledge and power, so I guess it's not all bad. The exorcists seem to miss out that little nugget of information. Now, although this demon is downright evil, he or she will grant you the knowledge of every language in the world. However, the bad news, he or she will only teach you the foulest and most offensive words, so say bye bye to your friends, I guess. Yeah, you'll be educated, but you will be vile beyond belief. So, you'll be me. In at 2, Renove. In demonology, Renove is described as a Marquis and the Great Earl of Hell, hence why he is number 2 on our list. This dude commands 20 legions of demons, making him one of the most notorious demons throughout history, one that you certainly don't want to be messing around with. Now, what makes him quite the enigma is that yes, he's awful, the worst, but he's also somewhat of a scholar. He teaches art, rhetoric languages, and gives loyal servants the favor of friends and foes. Now, you may be familiar with this demon, as he is the one who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is horrible enough, but what makes this demon truly terrible is that he is the taker of old souls. Basically, this means anyone who is older looking, or looks a little under the weather, Renove will claim them. Also, pets are not immune to this. He will kill them too. Your best option is just to steer clear of all your elderly relatives, and consider getting a new, younger looking pet. Just saying, they gotta go. And finally, coming in at number 1, Baphomet. This name may ring a bell for you, and that's because Baphomet is a deity that the Knights Templar were falsely accused of worshipping, following which time it was subsequently incorporated into occult and mystical traditions throughout history. It first appeared in trial transcripts for the Inquisition of the Knights Templar beginning in 1307, which resulted in it being popularized in the English language in the 19th century during debate and speculation on the reasons for the suppression of the Templars. The appearance of Baphomet is that of a goat, an image drawn by Eliphas Levi, which contains binary elements representing the sum total of the universe. More interesting still, this picture of Baphomet is often used as a stand-in for Satan by Satanists and Christians alike. Now, it is a highly debated topic about whether this demon was truly good or bad, but if we look to historical accounts, Baphomet comes from a letter written by a French crusader in 1098. He describes the crusaders' enemies in the Holy Land, I quote, calling upon Baphomet prior to battle. Baphomet refers to Muhammad, the prophet. European Christian dogma Lucifer viewed the worship of Muhammad as idolatry, which was harnessed by a medieval European ruler in the form of a witch hunt targeting his political opponents. Coming in at number 5, we have Belphegor. In Christian demonology, Belphegor is a bit of an interesting character. According to Peter Binsfield's classification of demons, he's the chief of demon of the deadly sin, sloth. This lazy demon uses his sluggish nature to tempt people into greediness and selfishness. When summoned, this demon is said to grant riches, the power of discovery and profitable invention. St. Thomas Aquinas pushed this deadly sin further and felt that sloth was the root of many evils, including ignorance. This fearsome demon, sometimes known as Hell's ambassador, has taken on many different forms throughout history and in various ideologies. In some schools of thought, Belphegor is considered one of the 7 princes of hell. Alongside him are Lucifer, Beelzebub, Mammon, Leviathan, Asmodeus, and Satan. Most commonly, Belphegor is depicted as horned beast with a long beard and sharp pointed nails. He's often associated with masculine symbols that are phallic in nature, if you catch my drift. Conversely, he sometimes appears as a young girl or a beautiful naked woman. Perhaps the most disturbing legend attached to the demon, also referred to as the Lord of the Openings, is his very unusual sacrificial preferences. Not to kink shame, but apparently he prefers his sacrifices in the form of excrements. Coming in at number 4 is Furfur, a great Earl of Jinnistan and the ruler of 29 legions of demons. According to the Lesser Key of Solomon, a grimoire on demonology, Furfur is the 34th of the 72 spirits of Solomon and a compulsive liar. The only way to get the truth out of this mischievous demon is by entering him into a magic triangle, and he'll truthfully answer your questions. His voice is hoarse and will deliver divine truths while summoned into a triangle. Outside of it, you cannot trust anything he speaks, should he decide to speak at all. He's very powerful and known for creating massive storms with thunder and lightning, raising great winds and creating big blasts. Furfur is actually covered in fur, appearing as a winged stag with great antlers and a flaming tail. In some depictions, he appears as a man or an angel when compelled to enter a magic triangle. His name directly translates to Bran in Latin, however it's likely that his name is corruption of Furcifer. It sounds a lot like the name Lucifer, but it's just the Latin word for scoundrel. Furcifer, what a name. In at number 3 we have Mammon. This demon is so bad his name has become another word for money, greed, or any entity that promises wealth in the New Testament. It's a pretty fitting reputation considering he's the prince of hell that represents greed according to Peter Binsfield. Did I mention he's also a fallen angel? Apparently he was more interested in heaven's golden pavement than serving God. His greatest skill is his ability to influence the human mind. Mammon's greed is so strong that it's said even the most innocent of people can be corrupted by his power. His grip holds them to the point of obsession, where all they can think about and focus on is the treasures he's dangling in front of them. Because of his ability, Mammon is considered a demon capable of enslaving people. We see Mammon in the New Testament during the Gospel according to Matthew, one of Jesus' disciples. He denounces Mammon, drawing a line between the demon of greed and God, saying, I quote, "Ye cannot serve God and Mammon." In some readings, Mammon is considered to be the son of Lucifer himself. St. Gregory of Nyssa, a bishop of the Roman Catholic Church, even went as far as saying Mammon and Beelzebub are one in the same. Considering that Beelzebub is regarded as one of the worst demons of all time, it's safe to say that Mammon is not a demon you want to mess with. Coming in at number 2 we have Belial. The name Belial is used for Satan himself at one point in the Bible, so I think that speaks to how horrific this demon is. In the New Testament from Corinthians it reads, I quote, "What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever?" This is a clear reference to good versus evil or God versus Satan. More commonly, Belial is used as the personification of wickedness and even means wicked or worthless in Hebrew. In the Old Testament, the word Belial is used quite a few times, but never referencing a specific being. However, there is mention of children of Belial, daughter of Belial, and man of Belial, so it could be argued that Belial is a being of some sort. Belial makes an appearance in the Book of Resurrection of Jesus Christ by Bartholomew the Apostle, a pseudonymous work of the New Testament Apocrypha. He can be seen along with 666 fallen angels when Jesus commands Michael to show hell to the disciples. In other readings, Belial is a prince of Jinnistan and he commands 80 legions of demons. And finally, in at number 1 we have Asmodeus. Also known as the king of demons in the Deuterocanonical Book of Tobit, like Mammon and Belphegor, Asmodeus is a prince of hell and included in Peter Binsfield's classification of demons as the personification of lust. His wickedness is undeniable, as is his talent for spreading lust among people from all walks of life. Most scholars agree that his origin comes from the demon Ashmedeva from Zoroastrianism, which Jewish and Christian faith molded into Asmodeus. We also see this sexual deviant in the Talmud and Testament of Solomon doing what he does best, lusting after Solomon's beautiful wives. In a fit of rage, Asmodeus threw Solomon 400 miles into the desert and took his place as king until he was eventually driven out. In the Dictionary Infernal by Colin de Plancy, Asmodeus is depicted as quite the monstrosity despite his honor of representing lust. He sports 3 equally nasty heads, one of a sheep, one of a bull, and one of a ghastly man. His human head certainly leaves something to be desired, being shown with jagged teeth, a hooked nose, and a fire-breathing mouth. Below the belt is just as strange. He has rooster-like legs and a scaly tail of a serpent. His trusty seed follows suit, showing as a line with the neck and wings of a dragon. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? What demon from Christianity scares you the most? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 3. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 demons we want in the Conjuring universe part 2. RJ Ilhurt said, sleep paralysis is just when a friendly vampire has come to feed on you while you sleep. I wish that was the case, but no one's trying to suck on my neck. Oh. William Alwood said, your sleep paralysis story quacked me out. Good pun. I loved that, considering my sleep paralysis story was about a duck, you know? That was a good one. I'll give you that. Brandon Fox said, love that sinner attitude. Lol. All I have is a sinner attitude. I sin every day. I wake up sinning. It's just who I am. Edmund Williams said, Lucy's a witch. That's why she's afraid of water. She'll melt. Facts. I mean, I'm afraid of water because I'll drown. But also because I'll melt. Scary. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you later. My mind just stopped there after entering him. I was like, whoa. Versiva. You can pseudonymous. Pseudonymous? Never heard that before. I've heard pseudonym, but never pseudonymous. 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 Pseudonym. And then add mus at the end. Pseudonymous. Deuterocanical. Ashmedeva. What just happened? Zoroastrianism. I didn't like that. Yeah. That was weird. Sneaky. From Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism. What the f***? It sounds like I'm just like stuttering. Zoroastrianism.